what is the attitude of normal people, mainly in rural areas, towards girls and women?
Again, when we look at India, it depends on the difference because each state has a different kind of culture. Even though we have so many different states, that each state is more like kind of a watertight compartment in that sense, in terms of attitudes. So generally, if we look at Orissa, for instance, there is a lot of female infanticide.
What?
Female infanticide, because the girl child, if you
abortion.
have one is abortion. If they know that it's going to be a girl,
they abort it.
Yes, they abort it.
Yeah.
The second one is they kill the child
when it's born.
After it is born, even maybe 2 years old, 1 year old, 3 year old, they don't want to spend money on a child.
Why not?
Because the very sad thing is the dowry system. When the girl grows up, the parents have to bear to, if she has to get married, they have to pay a huge dowry. They have to pay a huge sum of money to the boy so that he would marry her.
Why?
And so
Why doesn't the boy have to pay?
Yes. So that is the system. But I'm talking about backward places like in some of the northern Indian states. But there are other states where this is not prevalent. But what happens is that because of that, they don't want to invest any money on a girl. They don't want to educate her. They don't, because the girl is born and she is a liability. She is a liability to the family and also to the society. She is considered. So unless this attitude sort of changes.
Liability means what?
Liability means she's a burden.
A burden.
Yes. So that is how it is. The girls are looked upon. So when in some of my studies, a very common thing that very good observation that I came up with was the fact that the mother's attitude to the child, I think, is very important. When the mother herself is not educated, when the mother herself is brought up in that kind of an environment, it is very rare that she can change her attitude towards her child. Unless, she has been brought up in a very good environment, then she would definitely want her child to grow up in an equally good environment. But when she has been, told all the time and taunted, saying that, she is a burden to not only to the family, but also to the society, she would have a problem about bringing up her daughter. So she may not, there have been cases where the mother may not stand in the way of even killing her own child. Because there are a lot of case studies which we have come across where because of pressure from society, even the mother has been forced to give up her daughter. So I think it would be a great, wonderful idea to have an exclusive child for the girls, an exclusive school for the girl child, but more important, to involve the mothers in the school in some way or the other.
What could the mothers do in such a school? Depending
on what kind of background, where you're going to build the school, what kind of background they have. Suppose they are farmers, for instance. There can be a kind of a community center or something attached to the school where the mothers can come and have some kind of a non-formal education or a kind of a vocational training, and also understand what kind of education the girls are going to get. What kind of exposure their daughters get, and what kind of things the future has in store for them, so that the mother feels very inspired and motivated to sort of see that her daughter has a good life.
Can you tell us a kind of a story of a very poor girl who received education in India Can you tell us a kind of a story which proves that these girls deserve schools?
There are several of them, who have sort of come through. Like, for instance, this is a very general kind of thing where, there have been schools where they have classes up till grade 8. And after that, it is a co-education school. So because of that, the girls have not had an opportunity to continue education. But what happened was, the government had come up with this idea that all the girls in this area would be provided with bicycles so that they can ride a bike and go to the school.
Oh, good.
So that was an opportunity that the girls had. And the girls made use of it. And their education level has come up very high in those areas. They are better educated. The other thing...
So when they are better educated,
yes.
What is the result of this? What is the benefit of that?
Yes. One thing is that they have very much more better opportunities. Better opportunities to get more exposure to vocational training, better exposure to education, better knowledge of sanitation and cleanliness, nutrition, so that they bring up their families in such a way that they are more aware of nutrition, so they give them better food, better exposure. The other thing is that child marriage is something that is very common in India. Even today, even though it has been abolished, there are cases where there is child marriage. But when children are educated, at least the parents may not want to pull them out of school. And especially with this new act which has come, the Right to Education Act, which has come in India very, very recently, every child has a right to education. So using that, the child can continue going to school and not get married at a very young age and have the other problems that would come up with, teenage pregnancies and other problems. So that is again a very, very important aspect.
What is your vision how these poor girls, if we educate them well, could help the Indian society?
I think I would like to look at it from two different angles. One is looking at it from the girl's angle itself, where she has better opportunity. She has better opportunity for better employment, better wages, higher standard of living, a better life. That would be one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the kind of enrichment that would happen to a very small group initially, but which would sort of move further and further and enrich the whole society. And girls generally, compared to boys, are much better communicators. Women are very good communicators. So I think that is an aspect that we need to really consider and take very seriously. Because anything that is taught to a girl is always, in a way, imparted to a lot more people. She would love to go and talk about it to somebody else, either to the family or to a sibling or to a friend. And this kind of thing just goes on and on. I think that's a very important, it's a very day-to-day kind of observation, but I think that's a very good thing. Because though I have come across this point, where I heard this is from a very different kind of a source. Because long back, about 15 or 20 years ago, I wanted to learn chanting, Vedic chanting. So somebody told me that, see, you're not supposed to chant because you are a girl. So I said, why? So I was told, no, don't learn chanting, you're a girl, you're not supposed to chant. So I didn't know how to go about it. I was very keen to learn, but I did not know how to go about it. So one day I had actually visited one of a very knowledgeable person, a very knowledgeable guru, and I told him that, see, I'm very interested in learning chanting, but it seems because I'm a girl I'm not supposed to chant. What do you think about this? Then he said, what is it that stands in your way? Why can't you learn chanting? So I said, no, but even though there are people willing to teach me, I feel that this is something that I should not do, because I've been told that this is not for me. So he said, you know something, the basic reason why this was not taught was because these are certain things which a certain community or a certain group wanted to have it as their own. They did not want to spread it. So there is absolutely no problem with you learning it, because it's only when the mother learns that the daughter, the son, the family, the neighborhood, they will all learn. So it's so important for the mother to be not only a student but also an educator.
Did you learn it?
Yes,
Yes,
I
she
did.
does Vedic.
Yes.
Can you give us
Yes.
one little example for the
Yes,
of
please.
the chant?
just
Yes.
out of the nothing now?
Oh, yes, she
Okay.
can do a good chant.
Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Phunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is also again about education and relationships. So that's why I thought I'll learn. Thank you.
Can you sing the Gayatri Mantra for us?
Yes, it's quite some time since I did the Gayatri though. Tat Savidurvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Thank you.
This is a voice that's incredible.
She does a lot of Vedic chanting. We have small sessions.
That brings tears into my eyes.
She does a lot of chanting.
Wonderful, wonderful.